heads.
Wait, just let my After Effects finish doing the sound. Well, it
Why?
shouldn't slow down the internet. Never mind. I'm
Right. All right. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, welcome to the Geeks a Week podcast. I am the first host, Whoosh.
I'm Paul.
I'm Zach.
And I am Andrew.
And this is our post E3 talk about, I guess you can call it. We're going to cover everything with E3. Instead of splitting it up, this is going to be all of it, all the press conferences, all the announcements. Everything's going to be bundled into this one thing that you can buy for $69.99. No, you don't have to pay for it. Just kidding. So, the press conferences were actually a bit more spread out than normal. EA's actually was on Saturday, and Microsoft had theirs on Sunday, as did Bethesda. And then, of course, you had various press conferences. Ubisoft, Sony's was on Monday like normal. And then Nintendo just had theirs on Tuesday, right?
Today, yes.
Today, yeah.
Tuesday, yep. So, a bit more spread out than normal, but it's the same big people announcing basically the same things. So, for Saturday with EA, the biggest one, and I think probably everybody else here would say it is Star Wars Battlefront 2, which looks...
Yeah, half the conference was that.
Right, yes, and
Yeah.
I was really glad that they... Because normally, and I know this is a running joke, but it's also kind of true, it is mostly just sports, and this year it was, like you said, half Battlefront 2, and the game looks awesome. There's not going to be any paid DLC, it's going to be all free, it's going to be supported by microtransactions. That's fantastic. It looks really good. They fixed a lot of the problems with the first one, so I honestly was completely not going to get it. But with all this stuff that they've announced here in the last maybe month or so, especially with the gameplay, because the gameplay looks good and the game still looks great, it honestly might be something that I pick up on day one now because of this.
Yeah, it's great that they brought back the class-based gameplay from the old Battlefront games.
Yes, I was so glad. I'd heard that rumor going around, and then they kind of confirmed it, so that's awesome. Not having to pick stuff up, or they tweaked the way pickups work, so that's fantastic as well. It's not going to be a mad dash to get power weapons, and then people are going to pout if they don't get them.
I was digging the air combat.
Yeah, did you see that you can have air vehicles now come in and fight with ground fights? So that
Which you kind of could in the first, but not really. It wasn't really there.
They're pretty
Yeah.
rare.
Yes, exactly. But like the original Battlefront for like PS2 and Xbox, you could do that. And the second one, I don't think you could because they added the space battles. So I think they kind of separated that. And I don't remember being able to use air vehicles and also, in ground combat. So it's cool to see that.
I remember that being a complaint I had.
Yes. I mean, the game was still fun, but that was a big change that they had. But this looks fantastic. Super excited. I mean,
Yeah, because I think of X-Wings and such when I think of Star Wars more than ground battles.
Right. I mean, if Paul says he might buy something, it's got to be really good. And he did say he might buy it, so that's good.
Well, you guys wanted me to buy the first one so badly, and I never did.
Yeah.
Which you probably
But
should.
I mean, this, out of all the trailers I saw, this is graphically the best looking game I saw.
Dude, just play some of that.
And it
on
just
PC.
looks awesome.
4K! Well, we'll get to that in a minute here with the Xbox. Other than that, I mean, the Anthem, which they did tease a little bit, that was more in Microsoft press conference, so we'll get to that in just a minute.
Is that an exclusive?
No, it's not. It's just they have the deal with EA,
I didn't
whereas
think so.
Sony has the deal with Activision for I don't know how long. But that's sort of the way that worked. And they showed new expansion for Battlefront 1, or Battlefield 1, excuse me, which we might end up picking up.
In the Name of the Tsar.
Yeah, which that game looks cool. And I've heard the campaign is actually pretty okay, which normally the Battlefield games kind of lackluster, Bad Company games notwithstanding. They're always just kind of, it's almost like tacked on, really. But this one is supposed to be pretty cool. And I've seen a couple missions or a couple bits of the missions played. So that might be something that maybe we can pick up later. Maybe even Paul can get it.
Maybe.
Maybe. But
Let's not
Battlefront...
get carried away.
Battlefront 2 for sure looks cool. The cringe in the E3 press conference was really bad. Like, worse than normal. They had some YouTuber guy come out. I can't remember his name. I don't even think he said his name right. I think he kind of stuttered for a second. Really. And then he forgot his line. And he's like, "This is so and so, the executive producer, blah blah blah. He's a producer on the game." This is supposed to be a YouTube guy, so you'd think that they'd be able to handle stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, it was just sports stuff. Whatever, not really into that. The only things I cared about was Battlefront 2 and then a little bit about Battlefield 1. The Microsoft press conference, I thought it was weird because everything they said about the Xbox One X, it's not Scorpio, it's X, so now the abbreviations are literally XBOX. So they did that on us. It's weird because it's everything I wanted, but I'm less inclined to buy it now than I was before. And I think it's because aside from the fact that it's going to do 4K gaming, that's it. It's the games are just going to look better, which is cool, but I don't know if I want to go drop, it's only $500, which it seems like a lot, but for a console that powerful, that's pretty good. It'd be impossible to build a PC that even half as good for twice the price. You can't do it.
I wouldn't say that definitively, but...
Well, I mean, remember, because people forget there's a 4K Blu-ray player, so you gotta include that. You have to include the Blu-ray playing software. That's well over $100 right there. That's 20% of the price of the console. Probably closer to 30% of the price of the console, because I don't know what a 4K Blu-ray player drive costs, but I'm sure it's quite a bit. So that's a decent chunk of the console right there. With nothing else. That's, you gotta include Windows as well. That's another $85, $90 right there. So no, you can't do it. Assassin's Creed Origins looks really sweet.
Yes, I saw only like 30 seconds of it because I was just checking YouTube really quick, and it looks a lot better than Unity.
Yes.
And Unity was good. I like that. But the impression I got from the gameplay seemed to actually a lot like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it felt more fluid, the gameplay, than older Assassin's Creed games. Or
when you have literal eagle vision now.
Right, yeah, you can...
It's like in
Far Cry
Primal. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said when I watched it. I'm like, oh, they got that from Primal, same company. But that actually looks cool. I don't know... I'm going to have to see. I'm trying to cut back on game purchases just because there's so many and whatnot. But that looks like one that I might pick up like the first time it gets a decent discount, like $15, $20 off. So what does it come out? Late October? So that sounds like something that they'd have on sale, with the New Year's sale or whatever, that I might pick up.
Will there be obelisks or towers?
I don't know. Honestly, yeah. I don't know if they're going to do that, though. I mean, they'll probably still have them because that's a staple of Assassin's Creed. But they've been getting more varied as we go on. I mean, like Assassin's Creed 2 was literally just, here's a tall tower, climb it. And as time progresses, it's become more varied in things. It's not just, oh, that's the tallest thing in the area, so I have to go up there. It's kind of, varied a little bit. So we'll see what they do with that. I'm sure a couple of the viewpoints are going to be pyramids. I'd actually kind of be pissed if they weren't, to be honest, because you have pyramids.
At least one.
Right.
Don't you want to balance on the very point of a pyramid
on
1 foot?
Yeah, on 1 foot with the, how long would that take to climb up? Climb the Great Pyramid of Giza in 2 minutes for an achievement.
And you probably can't even dive off of it. You'd have to slide down.
I saw him slide down.
I saw him sliding in one of the trailers.
Yeah. And we were right in the last podcast, it is the pre-one, talking about everything being open world, because Metro Exodus is an open world Metro game. So the first two were very linear, first person. I hate to call them shooters because they don't really involve a whole lot of shooting. I mean, they're shooting, but that's not the focus of the game. But this one is now an open world game. So, I mean, we were right. They're adding open world to franchises that it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense to do something like that with a game where it's always been. I mean, it's called Metro. You live in a metro, so now you're like, oh, well, actually, you're not.
Well, the title, you're leaving the metro.
That's
pretty
true,
much
I
like
suppose.
Fallout coming out of the vault.
Yeah, but Fallout is about. I mean, it's not called Vault.
Yeah. I mean, the setup of the game. I just saw the one gameplay trailer where he fights the bear at the end and the
Yeah.
zip line.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad game. The first two, Metro and Metro Last Light, are obviously fantastic games. But it's open worldness being added to games that aren't... I mean, they're not even meant for that to be a transition they move into. It's just something that's kind of like, okay.
It's just something that's hot right now, so everything's doing it.
It is. But, I mean, it still looks cool. Again, that's going to be one I'm going to have to wait to pick up.
There's a lot of make-your-own-adventure
Yes.
vibes around, too. That's kind of part of the open world thing, I think.
Mm-hmm. And they announced some things. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was hinted at. I don't think that was officially announced till then. I mean, that's pretty sweet. We'll see how well it runs because it's already a resource hog on PCs. So we'll see how well that works. And then they had a bunch of, like, indie games. And because Phil said, oh, this is going to be the most diverse lineup we had. I'm like, you say that shit every year. And then I honestly think it... No, really, they do. And because it's like, well, this is like the third most diverse ever. You can't say that. But most of them look pretty cool. I mean, some of them are really obscure, like I wouldn't bother with. But a lot of them have...
Guitar.
I mean...
Whatever that was. I mean,
yeah.
it just looked... It almost felt like something that the Beatles would do. It was just very obscure.
Simulator.
Yeah.
But they had like a new Ori game. That's pretty neat. Cuphead
Life
finally
is
got a release
Strange.
date. Life is Strange. And in fact, the chick...
Pretty cool.
Yeah, she couldn't voice her character in there because of the voice actor strike. So she wasn't able to voice her character, so they had to get someone else, which is kind of disappointing. We got to see actual gameplay for Sea of Thieves, like a full-on thing. That looks pretty neat. I am excited for that.
I would, if it continues to get good review, looks good leading up to its release, I would buy that full price.
I'm just hoping it doesn't end up being repetitive. Like, if there's enough variation in the adventures you can go on.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, and they've been working on it for a long time, and this was announced like
this
2
was
years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm hoping, and then it doesn't come out till like spring of next year, right? So
Yeah.
that's almost a whole nother year yet that they're going to be working on it. I hope, like what Zach's saying, that they can have enough content so that it's not, oh, go here, find this chest. Okay, go to this other island and find this chest in a slightly different
battle
cave.
this guy.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Black Desert
Ubisoft kind of stole Microsoft's thunder on that one, as they announced a pirate game too.
Oh yeah. Well,
Skull and Bones.
well, we'll get to to their conferences here. Let's try to talk about one at a time. Otherwise, people are gonna get no. It's okay. So Anthem looked cool. I feel like that's going to. It's basically like, oh look, Destiny did okay, so let's try to do that. And I feel like that's what they're going for with Anthem.
Well, Destiny with the Iron Man armor. That's pretty cool.
The problem I have with it though is, I mean, is it going to be fun to play by yourself? Because Destiny, it's got good mechanics, but it's grindy. So it's different playing with a couple of your friends versus going out and doing it by yourself. So I wonder how Anthem can make it so that it's not a slog if your 4 buddies aren't on to do, or like they always have these people come in. They don't talk like people playing games.
I was just gonna say that the banter was kind of fake.
And I wish, why can't they just pick 4 people from the crowd and give them the controller and then record what they say and bleep out all the curses? Oh no, my controller disconnected. Or, oh shit, I'm out of batteries. Wait, I got a really high ping. Hang on, let me reset my router. Actual things that people say, not this fake stuff. The new Middle Earth game looks cool. That's one that you're going to be picking up for sure, right, Zach?
Yeah, I'll do a gameplay series on Shadow of War, probably day 1.
I gotta beat the first one yet, but obviously it looks to be a better version of that, more of the same stuff, which was a really good game, super fun. So that's exciting.
I like how the orcs have a lot more personality in this one. They had a ton in Shadow of Mordor, but this one they seem to be more.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they'll be able to maintain that, to have like all the orc captains have as much personality as that one.
In the trailer.
That one British drunk.
I think it's gonna be like story, like ones that are required for the story are gonna have a bit more than other ones. Because I mean that's you can't have, because I don't know how many orcs you would end up dealing with. I'm sure there'd have to be hundreds of permutations. You're not gonna be able to do that.
It looks like it's more focused on dominating the captain and then taking on their army.
Right.
individual orcs. Which I guess when you got the war chiefs, it was like that. But this, I mean, this is going to be full on sieges of castles and shit. So it'll be a lot bigger scale.
They have Minecraft in 4K on the Xbox One. I keep wanting to call it Scorpio. I think I should. The Xbox Scorpio.
Super duper graphics update.
But I don't understand.
Super duper 4K squares and straight lines.
Yeah, like, do you need 4K? I get, like, increasing view distance and things like that, but 4K, it's still going to look like blocks.
I think a graphics update would have been just fine. Like, just adding the light, the way the lighting affects the environment, and, the water, like you said.
Yeah, but that would require actual effort, so they can't bother doing that.
They did make that.
They did. They just also increased the resolution, which, like you said, it's not really.
Well, the super duper thing was just super duper texture pack, that's been on PC for years.
Right. But they did announce crossplay. In fact, the only consoles that aren't supported or the only console is the PlayStation 4. So you'll be able to play on your phone, on your PC.
Android, iOS, both. Yeah.
Switch. Don't forget the Switch.
What Wii U?
Ooh.
I don't think so. I think it's just going to be like current generation stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But I'm 95% sure that's just the current gen. And they announced original Xbox game backwards compatibility.
I know. That looks...
The only problem I have with that is, like, the 360, it made sense because the console just came out 2 years ago. A lot of people probably still had 360 and 360 games. You're talking about a console that came out almost 16 years ago now, 15 and a half years ago. How many people still have their discs? Right, I get there's going to be a few. But, honestly, like, this is something I wouldn't mind if they started giving away those games free with gold and included all of them in Game Pass. As something, oh look, you subscribe to Game Pass and you have our entire library of original Xbox backwards compatible games.
They're old enough by now.
Right. The biggest issue they're going to run into is licensing as opposed to any kind of emulation. If you can emulate a 360 game, you're not going to have any problems emulating an Xbox OG game.
Xbox huge.
Yeah. And in
Huge.
fact, I think they're re-releasing the Duke controller as well, which I don't know why. It
Yeah.
seems to be one of those things that it's like, everybody complains about it, but it's nostalgia. I miss it. No, you don't. It's a terrible controller. There's nothing good about it, other than the fact that it was the first one.
It's large.
But that's not good for most people unless you're like Shaquille O'Neal or something like that. I don't even know if you
Those controllers were huge and unruly.
Yeah, they were. So
I never owned an Xbox, so I don't even know what good games are for that. Besides
Halo
Halo.
and Halo 2.
Well,
What
I think the only backwards compatible game they announced so far is Crimson Skies.
about that one
Which
called
is-
Odd World or something like that? Or,
Yeah.
That's really the only
Well,
other game I know by
Battlefront 2 were on it. In fact, I had Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. When I got my 360, that was one of the games that I got. So that was backwards compatible on the 360, but it was an actual OG Xbox game.
I guess there is that, but
But yeah, otherwise it's.
So.
I mean, they have like, and it's going to depend because I think we're going to see a much smaller percentage of them just due to licensing, music, things like that. It's going to be way harder to get
Well, the
them.
original Xbox didn't have a very large library
Right, that's also true.
compared to the 360.
Yeah. Well, gaming got bigger, and of course it was around a lot longer too. Because remember, the original Xbox was only out for 4 years.
that was their.
That was such a long time ago. Holy
It was.
Yeah.
It was 16 years almost. Damn, that was a long time ago. So that's basically sort of a wrap up of what we give a shit about in the Xbox One conference, unless something else was mentioned that you guys care about.
I'm looking right now. I'm trying to, because this is the only conference I fully watched.
So, Bethesda moved their conference to 9 p.m. Pacific, so that's midnight for people on the East Coast. Us. So I didn't watch it. I don't know if you guys did. Apparently they did really
I did.
bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that special.
because they
They didn't announce
announced,
much.
yeah, VR and VFR, which, okay, that's fine, except for you don't get to move with a stick, you have to teleport. So I don't see that working.
VFR being the Dune VR.
Virtual fucking reality.
Yeah.
They talked about Elder Scrolls Legends, Heroes of Skyrim. They added, it looks like, some kind of extra pack or whatever to keep people monetizing that. The gameplay is fun. I haven't played a whole lot of it, but what I did play, it is fun. But it's not, I mean, it's a free-to-play card game. I'm not going to spend any money on it really at all. Maybe like $2 for a pack once. But other than that, nothing. The biggest things from this to take away are they did announce Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Looks awesome. I mean, the first one was just fantastic. Probably one of the best games I've played easily in the last 5 or 6 years. So that's cool. And they did also announce the Creation Club for mods. These are not paid mods. These are mods that you pay for. So
they did announce Dishonored.
Oh, yes. Well, I was getting
Death
to
of
that.
the Outsider.
I wanted to save something good for the end so that people didn't think we hate Bethesda, despite the fact that they might be my second favorite developer. Still, after all this garbage. Also,
Evil Within.
Right.
Compared to when they announced Fallout 4, it's like...
What?
Obviously, any press compared to the press conference when they announced Fallout 4. And
oh,
this
yeah.
one was certainly lackluster.
Even
I mean,
last year when they did
big
Skyrim,
deal.
because they still had other stuff. They did what did they talk about there? They obviously did Skyrim, of course. Oh, they talked about the the last 2 expansions for Fallout 4, so they still had actual, cool stuff to talk about. So now what Bethesda is going to do? Huh? They didn't do Doom last year. That would have been 2 years ago.
All right, that was Fallout.
Right, because Doom came out in like April, wasn't it? March or April of that year. Hey guys, here's a game that came out 3 months ago. So apparently, what Bethesda is going to be doing with this is they're going to be taking some big time modders in the community. I don't know any of them because I haven't used a whole lot of mods. In fact, the only mods I ever used on Skyrim are from the Steam Workshop, and it was just graphics enhancer, extra grass, higher res textures, things like that. And they're going to basically, in not so many words, have them be employees of Bethesda and then make and curate mods that you can then buy with credits, which I'm assuming you buy with money. Now, I've read some things where maybe it's going to be like Uplay, where you can earn credits with in-game stuff. Like Uplay does stuff like you get to certain points in the game or do certain things, you'll get
Side missions. And
you can get extra content, so maybe you can earn credits that way. We'll see. The problem I have with it is that, I mean, this is probably as good as it's ever going to get, but you have something that from the very beginning has been completely free. And obviously people have been doing it for free. They don't stop doing it because they're not getting paid. They do it for free. And now you're going to force them to sell their content for paid. And we'll see how the splits go, because I feel like Bethesda's going to get a lot of it. And I'm assuming that you'll still be able to get mods for free, so what's the point?
Right.
Like, if I was a modder, I would go, okay, it would be nice to make money, but I also would like more than 15 people to download the mod, so I'm just not going to charge for it. And I don't know how they're going to go about, deciding how they do that, what's paid, what's not. Now, it will be cool because they are going to be tested and everything, and they'll be, made sure they're stable, not game-breaking, which is nice. But if it was game-breaking, what you can do is just uninstall the mod, and then you're fine. It's not like it destroys your computer if a mod doesn't work. I've had it happen before, and you just uninstall the mod. You don't lose your entire system.
Sure.
And I was going to save Dishonored 2 for the end, but you kind of already blew that load, so... Bethesda's conference sucked. There was a PC gaming one. I actually probably should have watched that since I have a PC that I game on. Nobody else does. You guys all suck. Join the master race. No, I'm kidding. I still prefer
I'm on my
Xbox.
PC right now.
Well, yeah, you're not playing a game.
Don't forget about Skyrim on the Switch.
I announced that already.
Yeah, but It's really cool. They've got amiibo support.
Oh, good. Another way for Nintendo to make money for plastic shit.
They're just
You use the
ridiculously
Master Sword and Hylian
expensive.
Shield in the game.
Like that Archer Link is, I think, almost $50 on
Because they
Amazon.
don't make enough, so scalpers get them. That's the problem.
Yeah,
But
that
people
is a
keep
big
buying them.
problem.
And you guys sit there and you just basically stroke Nintendo's dick. And I'm like, sometimes they're mean, and you go, no, they're not. So the big thing to take away from the PC Gaming Conference, at least for me, is there's an Age of Empires, the original, definitive edition, coming out.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yay.
So that's cool. And they also said, tune in to, what is it called? GamesCon is the next big one. That they'll have something that people will really want to hear. So speculation is, of course, that it's going to be Age of Empires 4. Which,
What?
yep, would be pretty cool.
Oh, time.
Well, when did 3 come out? That was like a decade ago, wasn't it? Or close to
It'd be
it?
cool if it doesn't suck like 3.
He's all right.
We'll have to see about that. But
Not nearly as good as 2, but Age of Empires 2, one of the best strategy games ever made. So.
So Ubisoft, well, you mentioned the Skull and Bones game, Andrew. They did announce The Crew 2. So I guess.
Really weird trailer for that game.
I didn't.
It's like a Inception or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They did.
like different environments folding over each other.
They did show off Far Cry 5 a bit. I didn't get to watch the video. I've heard people are pretty excited for it, so that's cool. I do like the Far Cry series. So that's exciting. That doesn't come out till spring, but that's cool that they're coming out with
Yeah,
that.
the only thing I wonder with Far Cry 5 is, usually they have like a sort of mountainous or hilly setting. So I wonder how that would work in, flat
Barbed
plains.
wire fences.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because that's a good point. I didn't even think about that till now. But yeah, you're right. There's always been, a decent number of mountains, hills, things like that, and Montana's basically flat.
But it was a lot more in 4 compared to 3, so maybe they're just going a little more on the 3 side.
Yeah, that's true. 3 did not have. I mean, yeah, you're that's a good
3
point
had
too.
water, so I wonder if this one's gonna have like big open plains areas and then
It's Montana, so yes.
more dense urban centers probably.
Dense urban centers in
Well,
Montana.
not dense urban centers, but buildings, villages. Then
Because you're fighting some, like, religious cult or something like that. And I'm sure people are going to complain because you're killing the white man. It's fine to kill
Oh,
islanders,
they already are.
and it's fine to kill people from, like, the Middle East. Not the Middle East, but the Far East. But you can't kill white people.
Himalayas.
Well, whatever. And they did announce Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is a sequel to a game that came out a really long time ago. In fact, I think it was a 360 title. Might even be older than that.
It was an Xbox One title. They released an HD version for the 360.
Okay, so I was close, but it's still pretty old. I didn't watch the
And by
Sony...
Xbox One, I mean original Xbox.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. So I didn't watch the Sony press conference because, whatever.
I
Andrew, you
watched
said
it.
you saw it. What did they do? What? Oh, Monster Hunter World looks cool though, and that is coming to PC
Yeah, it did.
and Xbox One. So maybe we can all get that because I've wanted to play a Monster Hunter game for a while, and nobody else does. So
Maybe, if it's not, grinding an adventure like other Monster Hunter games.
it's gonna be exactly that because that's Monster Hunter.
But Sony's big things were Uncharted and God of War.
Doesn't Uncharted come out like next month?
I don't remember.
I thought it's coming out pretty soon, so I'm hoping that they got.
Uncharted without Nathan, by the way. It's got
Yeah.
some British women.
It's like Lost
Not Lara
Legacy or
Croft,
something
anyway.
like that.
that Detroit
Right.
game looked alright to watch anyway.
Yeah, it had some Android Uprising game.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Detroit Become Human, I think it's called.
Yeah,
Except for
that's
the
it.
fact that I don't have a PlayStation 4 and I don't really have any plans on getting one.
And the other big exclusive was some zombie game.
Don't forget
It actually
Spider-Man.
looked pretty cool. I don't know
Spider-Man.
if it's exclusive.
Yeah, it is.
It's exclusive.
It's made by
I'll have to
Insomniac.
check.
Yep. They also got,
It looked really
It looks cool.
It looked like the old Spider-Man 2 game, which was amazing.
I heard that that's kind of what they're going for, is they're trying to get back to stuff like that. So that's, I mean, I wish them all the best. I'll probably get a PS4 in like a decade or whatever when it's down to $200.
They did a Skyrim VR.
Who did? Oh,
Oh yeah, they
Sony?
did a bunch of VR shit.
yeah.
Oh, because they have that PlayStation VR.
Just endless VR and VR for like 20 minutes. It's actually really boring.
And then they have
The funny thing
Destiny,
about that,
Destiny 2, which I have
Destiny
absolutely
2.
no interest in at all. Burned out on the first one. I've played it in the last month. You guys don't want to play it, so I'm
It was a
done with
pretty cool trailer, but I didn't really show any gameplay or anything.
Of course not.
But I think the funny thing is, like, in their live stream, they kept looking at the audience. Did everyone just look bored?
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what and they had
I assume,
audio
like,
problems.
I assume they probably look like that at all the press conferences, but
Don't
No,
show it.
they didn't
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Fall asleep.
But they were pretty no nonsense this year, I think.
Because what was the... Didn't they do something weird last year?
Sony? I have no
Yeah, I
idea.
could
I
have...
don't remember. They always do something funny.
Like they think it's funny, but the audience doesn't, or
Yep.
it's actually funny.
Cringy.
Or it's unintentional. And they're supposed to be serious and it's funny.
So they just look like fools the entire time. Like they're unprepared.
Well, not the entire time, but they do.
They have their
At
moments.
least in my opinion, sort of make fools of themselves most of the time.
So there is an announcement I kind of skipped over it on accident with Bethesda. They've said, now I take this with a grain of salt, of course, that Elder Scrolls 6 is not in development. And I'm guessing by that means that they're only doing sort of pre-production sort of stuff on it, that they're not actively working on the game. Kind of a bummer. What I read was that they kind of consider Elder Scrolls Online to be the current version of Elder Scrolls, so they don't want to make another one and sort of...
That's BS.
Seems
Maybe
like they
kill
kind of
that.
consider Skyrim to be the current Elder Scrolls.
Ah.
Well, I sent that joke to you guys, didn't I?
Yeah. it was
Elder...
funny.
Yeah.
Hey,
Their
hey, hey.
2053 press conference.
Yeah.
Skyrim comes to the PlayStation 8.
But I mean, Elder Scrolls Online is fun. I know you guys didn't really seem to like it, but it honestly, it's probably the best single-player MMO that's available right now, because you can play it completely by yourself, no problem. When they did the 1 Tamriel update, I mean, it plays exactly like an Elder Scrolls game. You want to go to this area and do things? Oh, okay, go there and do those things. Oh, you're done? Go somewhere else? That's fine. There's no level restrictions. It's all leveled to you. You can have someone who just bought the game today, level 1, do the exact same content as you without any issues. So, you know, maybe you guys should try it out again sometime.
How much is the Morrowind?
$40 for the base.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
that's
got...
gross.
I'm saving
That
up big
fun
points
watch.
right now. I have $30-something on there, so I'll probably pick it up in like November when it gets a discount. But it's fun. I've enjoyed it. It's a blast. There's just a shit ton of content in there. So now we're on to Nintendo. This is you guys. This is not me. The only thing I care about Nintendo is Pokemon. So unless they announce Pokemon, which
They
did
announced.
for the Switch.
No trailers or names or footage, but
Right,
In
they were talking about
2018.
Pokemon Tournament, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, there's a Pokemon RPG for Switch."
it's gonna be the first main Pokemon title on a console, and that was
Ooh.
No. Well, I mean,
No.
would you count Coliseum?
I
that
wouldn't.
count?
It's not
it.
really.
No,
a
it's
series.
not where you
more of a-
go city to city, gym to
It's an
gym.
RPG.
It's a
You can
simulator.
go city
more
to city,
than a-
gym to gym.
Yeah.
But you don't have free control. It's like, all right, move on to the next area on the map.
That
Move
was the
up
one
to
yeah, I
that
mean, like-
Eevee evolution, right? Coliseum or no? I'm thinking of a different one.
Right, in Coliseum, you started with an Espeon and an Umbreon.
Yeah, which I thought the game was kind of weird, but
And
it was
then,
okay.
like, you captured Pokemon from other trainers who had corrupted them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like, there was no wild Pokemon.
Which
That's
sucked.
how it was different. But no, it was fun.
I mean, the fact that there was no wild Pokemon, I hated that.
It did sort of limit you, yeah.
But Odyssey, that
But if
game,
that doesn't count, then yeah, it would be the first main Pokemon game on a console, a home console.
right?
That's what I meant.
The Odyssey game, Mario looks better every time I see more footage for it. You can apparently control a
Oh, yeah.
T-Rex,
Yeah,
So,
you
Like,
throw whatever you throw your
hat
hat
on
onto.
it possesses them.
even a bullet bill, which I mean, that's
It,
cool.
but I get what you're saying though, Zach. It strikes everything about it strikes odd, but they make you like it every time you see more of it. Because it's
I
like
know.
you're in New York and you're walking with humans and you're a video game plumber.
And
You know?
you can apparently ride a scooter too, and all that.
Yeah, like down the
But-
streets. But then you have your classic Mario levels too. And then there's a T-Rex that's not cartoonish at all. You know, it's more realistic looking. So it's just as we find more out, but it looks good. It's something I
it's
would
this year
buy.
still, right? Or do they delay it yet?
No, it's still this fall, I believe.
Delay.
Dang. What there was
And they
just
announced
this
2
trailer.
Metroid games.
Yes,
Yes, that
We
was
saw
no longer a rumor.
we saw the 3DS one only though, didn't we? Which looks okay.
Well, it shows the gameplay for Metroid Return of Samus. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Then they had an
Just-
actual trailer for Metroid 4, but it was just like the words swooping
as
in.
much as a teaser can tease, yes.
Yeah, no actual footage,
Right.
but at least they actually put something to it. Didn't just say, "Hey, Metroid game coming."
Right.
They actually gave something.
I mean,
That
we have a
Yoshi
title for it
game?
at least.
That doesn't look too much like anything really.
What is it?
It looks like the old Yoshi's Island games, but
It just doesn't look, I don't know, challenging or fun really. I
What
think they geared
Yoshi?
that more for younger kids.
It
Right.
seems just like a basic level to level.
But
same
Kirby,
with the Kirby game.
yes, the Kirby
Well,
game.
Kirby,
I don't know what
though-
it was called, but co-op maybe. That
They
looks
just call it
good.
Kirby.
It's just like Yoshi. It's just Yoshi. But the Kirby game, it looks like you can combine powers like you could in the N64
I
Wait, there's a
hope so.
Kirby
Crystal
game?
Shards.
Oh, we got Wishback.
Yeah.
I know. I'm here. I don't have anything to say about Nintendo. But
So it
I
does
heard
seem
Kirby.
a lot like the basic, like Game Boy Advance Kirby game.
Oh,
But then I think they
yeah.
did add in that power combination, like from Crystal Shard.
Which was
So-
probably
No,
my
it seemed like
favorite
you could
Kirby
seemed like you could enslave the enemies somehow.
Yeah,
I wonder if
to
that's
make them
co-op,
work
though.
for you.
Befriend them.
Well, I'm sure it can work as co-op, but if you're playing by yourself, you can like
Yeah,
possess
they
those
just
people.
be computer with you. Because I
Yeah.
think they said computer, like how they say that in Smash.
Computer.
So maybe you
player.
can grab a controller and control the enemies too with your friends.
Yeah, that might be it
I don't know.
for new announcements.
I am pretty stoked for Breath of the Wild
Oh,
finally having DLC.
no, there was the Ubisoft one.
Which
Which one?
Ubisoft?
They announced the Rabbids game, Mario plus Rabbids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That game looks interesting. I'll wait for more. it looked weird and chaotic. I don't
It's like
know.
it's like a turn-based tactics.
It's tactics. It looked real time to me.
Well, you can run around in real time, and then there's battles which are turn-based.
Dang.
The gameplay looked interesting, but I generally don't like the raving rabbits aesthetic. So
They remind me of the
Yeah.
Minions.
Yeah.
There were too many
They're
minions
like
in the Minions movie.
more hideous minions.
Yes.
Nintendo's uploaded more gameplay footage of Super Mario Odyssey.
I might check that out then.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. They're really, I mean, not going out of their element, but they're taking somewhat of a risk, I feel. But then they're going to keep it enough classic that we're all going to suck their dicks still, so.
I mean, they did what Mario Sonic Winter Olympics. I mean, that was kind of the same type of game, just this one looks better.
Yeah.
They just mash Mario with different genres or character
Wait,
bases.
you never heard of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games before? This video's been going for years.
I know, but why?
It's not Super Smash, so why?
I wish they had announced a Super Smash for the Switch, but I guess
The Wii U
Wii U
still.
just came out.
I feel like they would at
I
least
feel
port
so,
it over or something.
They should, but I don't know. I don't know if I would buy it again.
Why not? They ported Mario Kart 8 and Pokken Tournament already.
Yeah, who knows? They might in a couple months announce Smash for the U, but or Smash for the Switch, but just be the Wii U version.
There's a Sonic game, but it kind of.
If you can raise Chow in it, I'll pick it up. But if not,
It just looks like you can play all different styles of Sonic.
Oh yeah,
and, like,
create
your own hero.
character.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I haven't really liked the Sonic game since Adventure 2.
Yeah. Oh, Rocket League? That's coming out on
Oh.
Switch?
Sonic Adventure 2 was pretty much the last good Sonic game.
They announced
yeah,
what was it? Or they didn't announce, but they showed more footage for Fire Emblem
Warriors.
or Warriors, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I played Hyrule Warriors and I got repetitive quick, so I don't think I'm
You
gonna pick
played
that
the piss out of that.
up. It still got repetitive quick at 300 hours or so. I don't know.
Sounds like you get good value out of Fire Emblem Warriors then.
But I'm burnt out of the Warriors franchise now. I don't want to do it anymore.
Alrighty. So I guess that covers everything.
Covers everything so far.
Yeah, is Rockstar doing something or
Nope.
Because there is nothing Red Dead at all.
Because it got pushed back.
I know, but they couldn't have showed anything.
Oh,
Kinda
something
pisses me
else
off.
here that you guys might care about. Ark Survival Evolved leaves early access on August 8th. So, I'm hoping
Dude.
that means that that's when that will come on the Windows 10 PC, and then we can set up a server and play it that way.
So we have now, between now and August, probably, to learn everything about the game, about what every berry does and what every structure does.
I got a wiki app on my
Get our
phone, so I'll be
rune
fine.
builds all set to go.
I mean, we can still foot around
Understand.
with it.
So it's
I think we should get on there soon and fart
Maybe.
around.
Maybe this weekend we can do something with it because...
I'll be in C squared.
Take your Xbox with you.
We'll see.
I know you did last time, but this time you
That was a waste.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. This time we're telling you to do it. Plus, I got movies to give you, so.
What movies? Oh, I got you. Okay.
probably see
Logan.
it later.
What?
We'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
So that's our E3 coverage. This is a bit of a special sort of version of the podcast. We'll have the regular one for Friday or Saturday. Not sure when we'll get around exactly to doing that, but this was just these last two are sort of special ones because it's E3 and it's kind of a big deal in the electronic entertainment world. In fact, you almost might call it the Electronic Entertainment Expo, E3.
Some would say. Is that? Man, they really should have put that when they named it E3.
I hate it when people call it the E3 Expo because it's not the Electronic Entertainment Expo. Like, you don't go to an ATM machine and you don't have a PIN number. You have a PIN number or a PIN, and it's an AT machine or an ATM. I hate when people do that so much. Bugs me to no end. So we'll keep doing the video uploads as well. We'll try to stick to 2 a week, and then obviously the podcast as well. I think Zach's going to have a Breath of the Wild one up on Wednesday. We're recording this on a Tuesday, so Wednesday's tomorrow. You could be listening to this 6 weeks from now, and that means it was 5 weeks ago. But it should be up there, and then we'll try to stick to the two videos a week. Should be Saturdays and Wednesdays, I think, is a pretty good schedule to give you some time
Right.
to recover from the awesomeness. And we'll
And I
have
guess
links.
the next thing big coming probably would be the summer Steam sale.
Oh yes, that's gonna start here. What is it now? That should be starting in like another 2 weeks or so.
Week and a half.
Uh,
Yeah.
Actually, the next big thing is the Power Rangers Blu-ray.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm hoping that I can do like a full
Opinions
length.
vary on that.
What?
Opinions vary.
Well, the opinions are wrong because that movie made bank. Didn't it make like 2 or 3 billion at the box office? I think.
You want to know what made
I mean, I liked it. But
bank at the box office is Wonder Woman.
Fuck that shit.
I
I don't care.
I had to.
ECU
I
is
mean,
dead to us.
That's yeah. Real no. That's I don't care how good they do. I don't care. No. We're not getting into that again. We've already done our Man of Batman.
BVS.
I don't even remember the title because it was
All
so
versus
bad.
shit.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to us compress E3, which is 2+ days of press conferences down to 40-ish minutes.
Not to
probably
mention the week or so of gameplay demos.
Right. We
Right.
probably skipped a lot of stuff. We're sorry. We're into the things that we're into. You're into the things that you're into. If they don't mesh, it's just because you're wrong and you'll learn. So, thank you for watching. I have been and will continue to be Whoosh.
And Paul.
I've been Zach.
I am going to be Andrew.
And it's just so funny seeing Paul talk because I see the dude light up every time. It's awesome.
Hey, the dude abides.
He does abide. So, thank you for watching. Bye.